Charlie, Manchester United 3, West Ham United 1. We got there in the end. Never say die attitude. It doesn't matter if the performance isn't quite right. It doesn't matter if we go a goal down. The inevitable thing of us digging in and getting the results seems to keep happening. How did we do it today?
Yeah, amazing. I mean, what was it, 1-0 to them, and then we got the disallowed goal in about the 70-something minute. I think the 77th minute we got the equaliser. As you said, this team's got a knack of not playing particularly well, but finding a way to win. And I thought, you know, first half, a lot of giveaways of possession, too easy. West Ham's press wasn't even that particularly good, but we were just giving the ball away, unforced errors. And then we went long a few times to try and evade, because we knew we didn't have the likes of Martinez, Shaw. We weren't building up comfortably. So we had to go long, and we weren't particularly, other than Weghorst, nobody else was really bringing the ball down, and we weren't really sustaining any pressure. So, and West Ham really should have scored. You know, Antonio had that great chance, but David De Gea again with a big save. And then after that, you know, the game's just, it's not the best again from us, but we get the win, so that's all that matters. What was
the turning point? Was it luck because we scored an own goal? Was it more than that? Was it that we upped the ante? You know, the better players came on, or the players that Ten Hag has been turning to in starting matches started to come on the pitch? What was the turning point for us?
It's probably a bit of both. I think I was surprised when Anthony went off, because he normally keeps Anthony on and takes Garnacho off, but he kept Garnacho on. It's another Ten Hag decision that's worked out. Garnacho stays on.
Decisions of magic, isn't it?
Yeah, Garnacho stays on and produces some magic, obviously. Absolutely unbelievable again. I thought he didn't do really well first half, but second half he completely different Garnacho. You know, he's taken on players. He bought a nice free kick sort of halfway up in their half, and yeah, absolutely brilliant from Ten Hag again. And then Fred gets another goal.
Customary
coming off the bench. So yeah, absolutely brilliant to get the win. But we need to, when we go to Anfield on Sunday, we're going to have to start a lot better than we
Absolutely, yeah. And obviously the team that will be starting, we've got a very good idea of probably what that will be. About Garnacho, though, you know, how good is he? You know, he's a young player. He's coming into it, but this is not the first time this season that he's directly impacting the game. You know, coming off the bench against Fulham, getting the win. Coming off the bench against Man City, assist, goal. Starts the game today, gets kept on the pitch, comes up with the goods in the last minute. He affects the game.
Yeah, I think Garnacho's best work comes towards the end of games. I think we talked about that. Yeah. When defences tire slightly, that's where you see his best work. But it was a bit difficult for him. You know, Garnacho hasn't started that many games recently, and he started tonight, and a lot of other changes as well. So when there's a lot of changes when you're a young player and you're not coming into the team that's been winning so many games in a row, it's very difficult to have an impact, particularly when you're a young player, when the other foundations are not quite right. If you think about, like, when Phil Foden came into Man City, everything was sort of good around him, but Garnacho tonight, I think he struggled in the first half. A lot of players struggled. They hadn't played with each other too much this season, and that's obviously the downside of rotation. But obviously then, as you said, we brought the more senior players, the more starting players on, and then obviously Garnacho with a brilliant goal. But I think a lot of people don't realise he's still very young. He's still going to make mistakes, but he's still got moments of brilliance, like the goal he scored.
Did Casemiro just elevate our performance and our level of performance?
Yeah, I thought it was a bit of both. I thought Casemiro, he made a few sloppy moments. He looked like he was still on the beer at times from Sunday, but other moments of class. He was a bit shaky when he first came on, but then other moments of class. And as I said, just the sort of momentum that we gained.
Yes, big up, man.
The momentum that we gained sort of when he came on, the impact that has on other players as well. Martinez as well, some of his passing through the lines. It's just really...
Casemiro did give us momentum, because like you said, even though he gave a couple of sloppy ones away, he gets a goal that's disallowed, but that gets the crowd up. That's momentum. Yeah. And then once we get the other couple of goals, he's making tackles. He's getting people up off their feet. So he's just a difference maker, isn't he?
Yeah, and we don't have. I think in the summer we need to look for a backup, because we haven't got one player in the squad who is their first position to play in that single pivot role. So in the summer we do need to be looking at a backup for Casemiro, because there are times where we know Casemiro's gone a bit too excited, getting sent off at times. We need a replacement to come in and say, right, you're going to come in. When we don't have Casemiro, we have to change the whole structure of our build-up, especially without Eriksen as well. We have to change it, and Fred has to come deeper, Sabitzer. And then obviously Fred and Sabitzer, they're not comfortable in those deeper areas. So then it impacts the whole team. So hopefully in the summer we'll get a backup for Casemiro. So when he isn't available, or when he needs a rest, we can give him that rest.
Obviously we needed to rotate. You know, we had Barcelona, then we had the cup final. And Ten Hag had to rotate, but look what happens when he does. Do you think now he'll be reluctant to make those kind of changes, or that's just a learning curve because the games are coming thick and fast. He's going to have to rely on those players.
Yeah, you have to rotate. You can't play the same players in every single game. And I think I'm hoping we got Betis at home first.
Got Betis at home first.
So we've got to play our strongest team at home.
Yeah.
Try and get a 2 or 3 goal advantage. Obviously, it's not going to be easy.
No.
Spanish teams, we know they keep liking to throw these Spanish teams at us, but hopefully we get a 2-goal lead, get a bit comfortable, and then we can make changes. But as you said, like, you have to be careful with the rotation. A lot of people want rotation and they complain when it happens, and it's a fine balance. And I wouldn't like to be in Ten Hag's position because it's very, very difficult.
Because when he makes too many changes, we see the drop off. If it's Maguire, Lindelof, and then McTominay in front of that, McTominay off at half time today, poor half. So it's like he will be reluctant to do that. But at the same time, like you said, you can't just keep rolling out the same players every single game. Before you go, who was your man of the match and why?
I'd say I'm going to give it a first and second half. I'm going to give first half Weghorst, second half Garnacho.
Am I going to allow you to do that?
Man of the half.
Man of the, no, I got to push you. Yeah, I need a man of the whole match.
Garnacho, yeah, Garnacho.
I mean, that's his difference maker right at the end, isn't it?
Yeah, and not just his goal, his impact in the second half, drawing players towards him, beating players. His decision making was slightly better the second half, so yeah, I'll give it Garnacho.
Big up, man. Nice one. Cool, man.